Hey everybody, how you guys doing?
Hey, what's
How you
up?
guys doing?
Can you say hi?
ਵਧੀਆ
ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੋ
All right, good.
ਸਾਰੇ ਹੋ ਕਿਆ ਨੇ
Sareo.
ਸਾਰੇ
So there's just four of us, four friends, just sitting here.
shooting
ਆਪਾਂ-
shit
Yeah, ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਫਾਰਮਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 뮤직 ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ you know we'll try to provide some knowledge and maybe crack a joke or two over there.
Yeah.
You just don't make a joke because I know you're not
none
funny.
of us are experts
I'm just
but
kidding.
we're just gonna
But yeah, we're all trying to make this bearable, right? We'll try to laugh. We'll try to do all of this. So today we're going to talk about Panjab and how we can save Panjab or contribute to Punjab's well-being, right?
ਸੇਵ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੂਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ
Save ਤਾਂ
ਜੇ ਸੇਵ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ
ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ, you know. But now, so today here we are. We're just going to talk to you guys about how we think we can, you know, bring creative solutions to Punjab and at the end of it, hopefully encourage you to provide creative solutions to basically helping Punjab in the situation that it is in right now. All right. So let me just start it off real quick, right? You look at Punjab, right? It's a region that expands between both Pakistan and India, right? Yeah. Big region. Huge. Partition happens, mass migration of people, the largest migration of people in history, right?
what, 1 million people?
More than 1 million people, actually. Yeah. So then in the 60s, you have the Punjabi Suba. The state of Punjab basically gets broken down into
3 states.
You have
Himachal.
Punjab, Himachal, and what was the last state?
Haryana.
Damn. Okay, fail.
I'm still upset as a
Camera
joke
shy.
thing. The
All right.
joke thing. He
camera
told me
shy.
not to make jokes.
That's fine. Haryana, right?
Haryana.
upset
So
about that.
1/3 of Punjab now.
Is it actually 1/3? Like
No.
it's not. It's much less
It's
than
much smaller.
if you look at it
Yeah.
geographically
Yeah.
it's
Way
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
So that's what we're left with.
Yeah.
Thank you for the cue. So that's what we're left with now.
Yeah.
Right? So it's pretty bad, right? And now you have the 70s, the Green Revolution, that's great. And then you have 80s, right? You have the genocide, the attack on Harmandir Sahib. You have the genocide in Delhi, right? And out of that, we come to present day, 2020, right? 3 farming laws that were implemented in September,
Yeah.
right? And they basically hint at a larger problem that we fail to recognize as a people, right? Because
Yeah.
that's all surface level, right? That's pushing Punjab's predominantly agricultural economy towards privatization, right? Big corporations, jitna Reliance hogi, Ambani, Adani, that group, right?
So we all understand that, like what's going on.
We all
on a
understand.
surface level, but like you said, there's so much that's come before, like in the 60s,
yeah.
70s, that has added to this problem.
Yeah,
right?
this onion has a lot of layers to it.
Yeah.
Right?
I need.
So, well,
ਗੰਦਾ
ganda. Iceberg we keh sakde hain. But yeah.
But the big problems though, right? Like
Yeah.
one thing that we want to highlight is, look, the economy of Punjab is right now struggling. It's ranked 13th in India for job creation.
Wow.
Most
in
of
terms
the
of in terms of output, like you said, in the 80s, it was number 1.
yeah.
In
exactly
terms of
yeah
capital.
I think we were talking about the numbers before that.
Yeah.
Between 71 to 86 it was at 5.7% compared to whole India which was at 2.3%.
That's almost threefold.
But that's
man.
so that was happening because of Green Revolution.
Green
A lot of
Revolution.
jobs were coming in. ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੀ
Yeah.
ਪੰਜਾਬ ਚ
It was an initial
ਬਾਹਰ
spike.
ਯੂਪੀ ਤੋਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਚ ਨਾ
Sone di chidi.
ਸੋਨੇ ਚੜੀ
Yeah.
ਕਰੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਾਡਾ
There you go.
yeah
That's our encyclopedia for Punjabi music right here.
yeah
So we have that growth rate, right? But now you look at it, right? That growth is not there, right?
it's not there, it's not growing at all. I think the job growth, I think the World Bank reports is 0.5% annually. I think
Wow.
yeah,
is
so
not
that's
growth.
almost nothing.
That's
no
nothing.
growth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think one of the World Bank studies that
The 0.5% is probably in Punjabi singers.
that's
every year.
or we just
5%.
or just Musiala karna hota
No, Punjabi music hasn't been growing either.
Well, like in terms of like
that's a whole different issue.
Yeah,
right?
it hasn't grown either.
But that's where the job
it's
growth probably
reflective
is.
of yeah.
'Cause, you know, tepa kad rahe ne.
Honestly, all the job growth has been in islets centers.
Yeah, absolutely. He has one, Golu Islet Center in Jalandhar by bus stand.
No, I do
So
not.
check it out.
So yeah, a lot of problems. Punjab is basically an agricultural state.
Yeah.
But Punjab ਨੇ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਆਈ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਤੇ ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਚ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਬਣਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ what was that brand
Avon Sakla.
Avon ਸਾਈਕਲ ਹੈ ਨਾ
Avon Sakla.
ਉਹ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਦੀ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਸਟਰਗਲਡ
Then you had Hero,
ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ
I
ਚ
think.
ਟੈਕਸਟਾਈਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ
Hero.
ਸੀਗੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਅੰਡਰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਸੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਜਲੰਧਰ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ
ਫੁੱਟਬਾਲ ਚੌਂਕ
ਚੌਂਕ ਹਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਚਾਈਨਾ 'ਚੋਂ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਬਾਹਰਲੀਆਂ ਸਟੇਟਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਟੈਕਸ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਦੇਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਈਆਂ I think the reports between 2007 and 2014 basically 7 ਸਾਲਾਂ 'ਚ 8,777 ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਗਈ ਬਾਹਰ
And if you look at it, like I think the numbers were back in the 80s and 90s, you had investment in terms of GDP. Compared to GDP, you had 15%, right? 15% of the investment coming in compared to GDP. And whereas the whole India was at that rate. Now you have India at 38% compared to GDP, and Punjab is still at 15.
Jeez, stagnant.
So, so if you look at it, it's like, oh, every year we have 15% compared to GDP. We're going, but hey, the rest of the country, all the other states, whether it's Hyderabad and these kind of places that get all the investment coming in.
Yeah, so then the bills introduced ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. Obviously, that's gonna further
on the one thing you had. The one thing you have is agriculture.
Yeah, agriculture, which is
because we never diversified.
Almost 38 to 40% of the people employed in Punjab are based in agriculture.
Right.
The rest is Punjabi
now
singers.
that gets there's that's been taken over by Ambanis and Adanis, so it's gonna only further
the problems that we have. So look, we're staying afloat, like barely. Right? Like they're literally putting rocks in our life vests, and we're kind of sinking, right? Like apa dekh liya, right?
Sinking in water.
Literally, right? So like we're Hyderabad and these guys are swimming away to safety. The Aussie, we're still stagnant and kind of sinking to the surface. But now let's look at this, right? You have farming bills, right? And closely tied to farming is water. And that's the case everywhere, right? Now let's talk about the water usage in crops. Oops. In crops. Corps because corporations, that's why. Right? In crops. So what are the two main, like quiz time, by the way, what are the two main crops that Punjab grows?
ਝੋਨਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਚੌਲ,
rice,
ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ greens.
Kanak, right? And which two crops use the most water?
Chonna, kanak.
Chonna and kanak. Chonna actually most.
Mostly it's chonna. But both of them on the list, they use the most amount of water. And what do we have?
We also be eating more chonna.
Wait, hold on. Maybe.
So we can save Punjab. Yeah.
Also, which two crops are offered subsidies?
Both of those.
So
chonna and
these guys are pretty smart.
So you have no choice but to
plant those two crops.
Yeah, that's a whole set of another problem where it's a cycle. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ subsidies ਉਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਵੋ ਹਨਾ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਲੈਕਟ੍ਰਿਸਿਟੀ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ state loses money which then they can't invest and they can't build infrastructure, right? But ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ subsidies ਜੇ ਨਾ ਹਟਾਵੋ ਤੇ people will continue to grow those items, which leads to there is no diversification.
That's true.
Which then even that take another step that your soil, when you're using that much water on soil, all the nutrients get pulled. So you can't grow anything else.
So what happens in 15 years then?
Oh well,
once
nothing.
The water runs out.
Punjab is a barren land.
Turning into like a death valley.
Exactly.
Sadly,
Machiavelli Death Valley, right?
ज़्यादा हो गया थोड़ा या कोई नहीं.
Sorry, but yeah, death. But yeah, a lot of deaths might happen too because there's a lack of water. There already have been, right? And with the whole farming issue, right? We look at it like, people want the laws to be repealed. But that's not going to fix farmer suicides. That's not going to fix the waters being diverted, right? That's not going to fix the debt issue, right? So there's something larger here that we have to look at, right? Because ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ surface level ਤੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਡੂੰਘੀ ਹੈ, right? So my question to you guys is ਕਿ how do we ਇੱਥੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ 'ਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ how do we like help Punjab? I don't want to say save Punjab because that's the long run, right? How do we help Punjab in sort of creating a sustainable environment, in sort of creating a healthy environment where people are not actually coming out of there or, coming...
Well, I think you're saying people not coming out of there. I personally think that one of the solutions that have worked is the mass migration.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think if we can...
I don't know if
as many people...
Worked.
No, I think it's a good argument that it has because ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ. Why? Because there was lack of jobs and opportunity there, right? Well, now they come here and essentially you have tons of opportunity, especially when they came in 80s and 90s. Even ਹੁਣ ਵੀ 10,000 ਬੰਦਾ ਹਰੇਕ ਸਾਲ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਚ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ. NPR did a report. 2007 ਚ 74 ਬੰਦੇ 74 people were held ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ in detention centers ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਸੀਗਾ 7400
7,400.
So you've seen almost 1,000%.
That's 1,000%.
Yeah, 1,000% jump. I would say continue that.
Maybe
I
we're
think
just
it
getting
works.
caught more.
Yeah,
You
maybe
ever
that
thought of
too. And that's
they अपने ढिल्ले वाले
We just haven't thought this through. How do we jump the border?
But honestly saying,
na cross karo.
yeah, if
Stop going to the same place.
and that's what leads to mass migration. If there is in a country where and you've seen that in African countries, ਬਾਕੀ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਜੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ opportunities ਘੱਟ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਲੋਕੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਨਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਆਇਆ US 'ਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ opportunities ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਹਨਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਜਨਰਲੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਵੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ ਵੈਸੇ opportunity jobs income goes up like when a person migrates
on
from India on an individual level they come and I think that's one of the solutions that has worked and why not just keep pushing that. You guys might disagree, I don't know, give your thoughts.
But that's individually, right? I mean you said this earlier, like how but is that person making a difference back home?
See,
exactly.
But here's let me ask you a question. When did your dad come here?
Like early 2000s.
Early 2000. Mine came in probably 88.
Yeah.
Or before that. ਤੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਵੀ ਹੈ
Yeah.
ਹਨਾ ਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਵੀ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਬਾਹਰ ਹਨਾ because you went to school there.
Yeah.
Isn't that progress?
It is progress.
Hold on. NYU ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਤੂੰ
Sure.
ਹਨਾ now you're probably gonna go work at State Department.
Sure. Hopefully.
ਤੇ if this is not progress.
Okay,
what is
I
this?
I agree.
If this is not progress, what is this?
Individually.
Individual level to him. ਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਣਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਪਸ ਹੈ ਨਾ
ਅਸੀਂ ਹਾਂ
you at some point ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋਗੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ
ਇੱਕ ਜਣੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ
ਨਹੀਂ
This does not apply across the board.
ਆਪਣਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਬੰਦਾ US ਹੋਲਡਰ ਕੀ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਬੰਦਾ US ਚ
ਸਿੱਖ ਆਪਣੇ
6 ਲੱਖ ਹੋਣਾ
ਜਿਆਦੇ
ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੋਲੀਸ਼ਨ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਇੱਥੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹਨਾ ਹਨਾ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਲਾਈਕ ਵੇਰੀਅਸ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੇਖ ਕਾਫੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਡਾਇਸਪੋਰਾ ਚ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਚੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਏਡ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਆਇਆ
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ
ਹਨਾ ਸੋ all I think is this,
you
like, look,
step away. You
have to get out,
to
create more
understand.
opportunities, build opportunities here for yourself, build a community here. Nobody's you haven't broken your connection with Punjab.
Fine, but here's my plea.
It's just a separation and you're helping from here.
That's fair, but here's my plea, right? Here's my plea. Tika, we've stepped away from Punjab to get a more holistic view on whatever's going in Punjab, right? But what I know I've lacked this is how do I contribute back to Punjab? Right?
You should go back.
ਅਸੀਂ ਫੰਡ ਦਿੰਨੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਾਉਣੇ ਸ਼ਬੀਲਾ ਲਾਉਣੇ right ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਆ but like that's not doing anything.
But hold on, are you in a better position right now to help?
Individually,
I feel like you need to understand individually ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ but I think ਆਪਣਾ ਜੇ focus ਪੰਜਾਬ ਰੱਖੀਏ right we keep our focus on Punjab. Not majority people can migrate. अपना इतना तो है नहीं कि बंदा embassy च बैठा ठप्पा ला के चलो अमेरिका जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया जो right
hey sponsorship भेजूगा
unless तू responsible
मेरे आइलेट सेंटर देना कोई आइलेट सेंटर नहीं है
so जे ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ reality ਦੀ ਕਰੀਏ it's very hard to migrate ਉਦਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਹੀ ਆਪਣੇ
I know it's very hard
ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਚੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆ ਜੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਫਸਦੇ ਆ right it's like your life is very hard I know you make money but life is very hard so ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ if we look at a true solution we got to focus on Punjab.
No, what I was saying was this I'm not saying illegal migration है ना ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ illegal ਕਰੇ ਹਨਾ ਹਰੇਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਈ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਇਲੀਗਲੀ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਲੀਗਲ ਮਾਈਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਚ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਇੱਥੇ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਚ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਮ ਬੱਚਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਵੇ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ ਜੌਬਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਵੇ
look at the barriers let's go back to Punjab what's the average what is
and the second solution is staying there and obviously
most farmers in Punjab, what do they have? Less than 5 acres, right? 85% have less than 5 acres. If you're getting, what was the numbers on Kanak? I think it was like 18 to 20,000 rupees per
every
acre.
6 months.
So that's every 6 months, right? When thoda saal da sara kuch karke, right? Because you have cycles. At the end of the year, if you're coming with like 1.5-2 lakh, right?
Yeah.
How are you gonna afford to send your child out? 1.5-2 ਲੱਖ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਬੰਦਾ
with added debt
ਹੁਣ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ 10 ਸਾਲ
ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਗਹਿਣੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਇਹਨੇ you know you take loans because the ਜ਼ਮੀਨ is worth a lot
but now your loans are also that 25%
I'm not saying ਕਿ ਹਰੇਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ 27 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ 27 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਬੰਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ 27 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਪਾਪੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ,
land value is gone too, by the way.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਆਉਣ। ਪਤਾ ਕਾਹਦੇ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ 10-15 ਸਾਲ 20 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹਰਭਜਨ ਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਮੂਵੀ ਕੱਢ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜੀ, ਕੀ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦੀ,
ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦੀ ਪਈ
ਉਹ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਵਿਚਾਰੀ ਸੁੱਕ ਵੀ ਗਈ ਹੁਣ।
ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਇਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੈਸਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਮਾ ਲਿਆ, ਚੱਲੀਏ ਵਾਪਸ, ਹਨਾ। ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਸੋਚੀ, ਜਾਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਾ ਆਵੇ ਨਾ ਇੱਥੇ। ਇਹ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਲ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਖੇਤੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਆਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਲੋਕ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣ ਕਾਫੀ। And I'm just saying the opposite. I think the narrative can be created that, like, look, the US, Canada, true, you can.
You can create
but I think you can create the narrative that, look, if you can get out, you should get out.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's one angle.
Let's come back. I think we talk about migration.
So
let's come back.
We were on individual level as a more holistic level, right?
Yeah.
So mine is, ठीक है, I agree individually, साड़ी इतने जिंदगी आके कहीं गना सुधर गई है, मैं मानता, right? But let's look at it Punjab geographically on a holistic level. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਗਲੀ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀਆਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ, not only ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖ population, ਜਿਹੜੀ 55% day-to-day issues ਕੀ ਆ।
You can't just get a bio ticket and leave.
Yeah, where do they lack in education in terms of not only just general education, but agriculturally, right? Where do they lack, right? You have methods like drip irrigation that is straight up Israel used, right? Yeah. So you have to introduce these things on a smaller, that's how I feel, right? Because
you have to invest into, you have one industry. If you can't invest into that industry in the right way, then you're kind of lost, right?
And also to understand that the biggest blame should go on the government. Look,
absolutely,
Akali Dal, Congress, they all come. They've seen the disappearances of companies out of Punjab. They've seen disappearances of 18,000 factories that have left Punjab. And again, none of these governments have done much.
Well, you need policy, right? We were talking about this earlier, that fiscal policy dictates what companies come in.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm not, menu koi fayda nahi ho raha, why would I go to Punjab and invest in why would my company invest, right?
Absolutely.
Main ta Hyderabad ho
raha, aa raha Gurbakhshal aa raha.
Yeah.
Well,
Gurbakhshal, Silicon Tech successful entrepreneur. You know, he announced that he was going to create 1 million jobs. So I mean, that's one way.
That's huge. If we can, so again, that's without having to come out, right? If you can have like, I know a family that has their call support center in Punjab, right? They trained local Punjabi munde like Kuliyan.
That's good.
To do that, right? Yeah. So now they gave, I think, 14 people jobs.
That's good.
Those 14 people have households. So that creates that. That's a very small scale. Until you get the government involved, right? Badal or Captain or somebody that, hey, let's create a policy. Let's give a subsidy. A company comes here, let's give them 2 years tax free or 2-year tax credits or, something like that to bring more industry into it. Because right now we're stuck with agriculture. So if you squeeze agriculture like they have.
And by the way, when electricity is free, you can't just hand out subsidies.
You can't, well, right? The budget's it's not there.
ਜਿਹੜੇ 3 ਲਾਅ ਨੇ ਹਨਾ, ਇਹ 8.5% ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੈਕਸ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਜੇ ਪਾਸ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸਟੇਟ ਤੋਂ। So the state is not left with much money to do any of these things.
But they don't promote it either.
And by the way, the debt on Punjab is crazy. Yeah. And then so there's like, and that's why the corporations, and that could be other reasons as well.
You have corrupt politicians, right? You have to feed the politician. You have to, in order to come in, you have to feed Captain Abad a little bit,
so
right?
There's not growth there at all,
Is that actually true? Is that true?
There's corruption on various levels. Man, there's
if Dell is coming in, Badal's going to be like, yo, I need like 3% equity.
I'm pretty sure, he would have some way to make sure that he gets his cut. Even though he's 90 odd years old, he's gonna want
hence
his cut.
Captain supported these 3 bills first, and Battles in them.
Yeah.
So did
uproar.
So did apni Sumo.
Okay, Sumo Gaddiya.
Sumo
Gaddiya. Sumo ਹੈਗੀ ਆ।
Nanisha. We guessed that they knew. But at first she was Akali Dal and BJP had a National Democratic Alliance in Punjab, right? These bills came out.
So why was that alliance even allowed? Right? So these little things add up to so much.
Right. So here's my question. Why was this alliance allowed? So let me ask you this. Do you think this is like a grand scheme of things to basically curb Punjab, kind of grasp it by the neck and it's been a volatile region, right?
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning, it's been a volatile region because we've
I think every 15 to 20 years you see
something happens.
Large event.
And
you know,
like
60s you saw. Yeah.
Drugs come only from Punjab, not Rajasthan, not Jammu Kashmir, right? Militants attack only in Punjab, you know, whether that's Pathankot or that northern area by Diaspora, right? Why not any other state, right? So do you think it's like a bigger scheme that, hey, let's just curb Punjab because that's been the only thorn that's been bugging us ever since India, you know?
I think the only thing that makes sense is, look, the government saw that this region from 47 to 84 and everything has been very volatile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can't really invest in infrastructure
control
here, right? We need to take it away. And plus
we need to
Pakistan
control
like that, thalle jana chahiye. Hence,
Yeah.
I think a lot of this investments went to Hyderabad and down south, like past
Exactly.
Delhi, and you don't see much in Punjab.
ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ
because
ਆਪਣੇ
overall-
ਨਹੀਂ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ growth ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ growth sorry
Yeah.
so like ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ and ਉਹ ਵੀ ਚਲੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਚ
ਉਹ
ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ
ਵੀ
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
overall Punjab though, you know, like I think that's why maybe a lot of even companies felt like, look, this is a volatile region and we don't want to be, you know, in these
But is it shown as
in the
volatile on
States.
purpose, right?
Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
because look.
how much extremism have you experienced when you've gone back? Have you?
ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਗੱਡੀ ਕਿਰਾਏ ਤੇ ਕਰੋ ਇੱਧਰ ਘੁੰਮੋ ਉੱਧਰ ਘੁੰਮੋ I think ਆਪਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ
we don't get the full picture.
We don't see the full
Definitely,
picture.
definitely.
So-
That's fair.
But there is also the thing that, hey, this is a volatile region. This is a threat to us. The only way to keep them controlled is if they have one industry. If we control that one industry, we're fine. If you let them diversify, we company invest karo, then it's very hard to control because now you have foreign. Imagine if Google and Facebook directly contributed to Punjab's, right? They put a call center there or a support center there.
But that's not possible. If you look at it, that's what Facebook was trying to do before that. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ BJP Modi, these guys didn't let Facebook come. They're like, ਜੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਨਾ, you gotta come through Jio through our, and if you don't about the WhatsApp page.
ਜਿਹੜਾ Jio ਦਾ support center ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਆ? It's not gonna be in Punjab. I'm pretty sure it'll be like Hyderabad or something.
Oh yeah.
Right. So like I said, that GDP, that fiscal policy, that idea of bringing to Punjab, like Karan is saying, like, yeah, maybe it sounds like a conspiracy theory, like you do sound kind of crazy. But
I think there's some legitimacy. I think there's some legitimacy. Like
crazy,
you know, I don't think you're
Yeah.
crazy. I think, and plus, I think the biggest blame goes to the government of Punjab
because they let it happen.
You look, Sardar Singh Jal, he's an economist. You know, I think he's a chancellor, vice chancellor of Punjabi University. He's worked with both parties. And his main thing is this: that you have so much corruption. You know, people.
He said they're both
parties
the same.
they're both the same. They make promises. You know, at the beginning of an election, when their time comes, it's all about cashing their own pockets. You know, and putting money in their own pockets.
And our people vote for
and hence no industry comes, and none of this progress actually happens.
I mean, I just really hope out of this whole Kisan protest, union chaldi, right? I hope something positive comes out of this, where us relying on two parties, maybe there's something positive that can come out of this, where we have some youth, we have some change coming in Punjab.
Like not a conventional two-party system that Punjab has had,
But
like youth leadership.
Yeah,
AAP is going to change everything.
Wait, what'd you say?
He said Op was going to change
Oh my
everything.
God!
Yeah.
First of all,
and you know, interestingly, the support that AAP got from Diaspora, which just shows you how strong the Diaspora is in terms of dictating Punjab politics to some extent, not totally. That's why you saw buses in Canada with Akali Dal.
Yeah,
you remember you saw that?
oh, the trucks, the trailer,
The trailers with the posts.
and that
that's why you
idiot
have
got his trailer vandalized, rightfully so.
We have local wings here of Akali Dal.
Yeah.
And so
You have it in every state.
You have Congress, you have BJP, you have everything, right? But I think we also have that rhetoric in Punjab. We don't trust politicians in general, right? But who puts those politicians at the pedestal?
We do.
So at the end of the day, you kind of have to realize that, hey, politics do matter, and we do have to care about it. We can say all we want, that, hey, you know, let's stay away from politicians, let's not talk with them.
No, politics is generally, I mean, we have the
change.
concept of meaty, right?
Yeah.
So politics, it's very important.
It's
As long as
ingrained.
it's being led by the right people with the right mentality. कि you actually चाਹੁंदे कि Punjab ਵਿੱਚ there should be some progress.
That's sort of far-fetched. I
know,
honestly
बहुत दूर दी गल है,
just
I mean, but
some short-term solutions, and you know, it's tough because it's such a big and a large problem with a lot of onions and layers to it, right? So you got water issues, onions. Sorry, I meant like layers, not
Why can't
onions.
we just say icebergs?
Yeah, icebergs. Yeah, sure. But you got water problem. You got economy. You got job growth. then people have Sikhi. People separate economy from Sikhi. There's a Sikh issue. Sikhis at threat, right? And you just have so many issues, man.
Exactly. Why is the education system this way, where you can't even think outside the box?
Yeah,
right?
the syllabi is like so controlled.
But I think it's there, like with the 3 farm bill जिन्ने लोकी आए ने पंजाब चो इकट्ठे होके,
which is good.
जिस सिंगरां ने भी कितनी सपोर्ट कीती ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, सिंगर हर एक सिंगर I don't कोई सिंगर शायद बच्चा होगा जे ना बोलिया होवे, है ना? गुरु रंधावा बोले से एक दो बार
ਹੈਗੇ ਬੱਚੇ
ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮਾਸਾ ਕਿਤੇ
नहीं, but no, Gurdas Man भी आया, everybody, right? Just to throw some names out there.
Don't get me started about
But
Gurdas
you know,
Man.
I think big names, ਕੀ ਨਾਂ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਨ ਔਜਲਾ, ਕਨਵਰ ਗਰੇਵਾਲ, I think
Can we talk about Daler Mehndi?
ਪਰ overall ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦਲੇਰ ਮਹਿੰਦੀ, Hansraj Hans, but overall, no, people would say ਕਿ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ, you know, there was no awareness in Punjab, but I think this shows that there is, you know. Hana?
Muhammad Sadiq as well, yes.
Yeah. But like you were saying that education and the awareness is not there. But
it's not there, man. I think, and that's just a whole. It's a whole.
No, I would say it is. Like, don't you see that with these protests?
So we just outlined like 10 different layers of this onion. But how do
iceberg?
How do we? So what is a small step, right? Like we mentioned that, hey, if you have a company, you can try to create a center there that's a training center, right? To diversify. It's still very small scale, but that helps, right? With your pend. Start with your pend. Start with your family. Get the pend, right? Then you move on to pend.
My bad.
We talked about this.
What is wrong with you?
I just ruined the whole conversation.
Why don't you just pick up?
Yeah, I want to know who
Why
this
don't you
is.
just pick up?
It's somebody from India. Should I pick up?
Why don't you
just ask them what's going on?
Why don't you ask them what should we do?
Yeah, ask them.
You know what I mean?
He's not the best person to ask.
You'll be our next guest.
No, so many layers. Jora was saying so many layers.
Yeah, there's so many layers. So why not? What do we do to start small, right?
Okay.
You've been asking a lot of questions.
That's fair.
What's a solution that you say? Hey, let's start small.
All right, for me, look.
Are you just sending money back for a counterparts?
Well, actually, we don't do a counterparts. We just do it ourselves. So here's what I think. Right?
I don't do any.
When you have a problem, right? I think you always need to provide a creative solution to, especially with Panjab, right? I mentioned drip irrigation, right?
First know the problems.
Right. First know the problems,
yourselves.
Right? Just financially too. Like, how do you manage your finances, right? Because in Punjab, there's a big thing about, you know, big houses, nice cars, opulence. Like, it's
everything is optics. Everything is on the outside.
Exactly, it's on the outside, you know. So you have to educate people that this, fine, as being the diaspora externally, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰੋ, but we can start on a small scale level and be like, hey, you need to do this way. If that produces results, which the family that you mentioned, it has produced results, right? You present that and present it to a larger audience that, hey, this is an alternative, try this and this will help you, right? It's tried and tested. So whether that's from agriculture to finances to basic education, right? We can offer that because ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ resources ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਪਰਵਰਿਸ਼ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ. We have a better understanding, right? So that's my 2 cents.
No,
I mean, my main focus is, I mean, I don't know if us sitting in countries like America, I think there's a lot we can contribute from here, right? Genevi, like you mentioned, right, jobs. There's a lot of apne youth hegi, or there are people that have established a business like out here, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do in Punjab. I think education is huge in Punjab. So I think the more we can do that, I think the more we can help out in Punjab.
Yeah.
Jora will go first.
Oh no, I gave a suggestion.
He asked a question.
Starting off with
what are we doing? Just like thoughts.
What is something small? Yeah, what is something
small?
Maybe picking up that phone call.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! You got another one.
Yes, another phone call. No, but I think there's so many small, and I think you should always start small. You can always get stuck in this grand scheming of things, but yeah, like you said, start from your own village. Maybe ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਹਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੋ ਘੱਟ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਆ, ਹਨਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਾਲਾ ਘੱਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਬਸਿਡੀਜ਼ 'ਚ ਆਪ ਬਦਲ ਦਿਓ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. ਐਵੇਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਘਰੇਲੂ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਘੱਟ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਜਾਏ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਰੱਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣ ਦੇ ਬਜਾਏ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਵੋ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਸੋ this is something short term that you can do. Other than that, I feel like keep on migrating out, man. I feel like it's
oh my god.
You know
what?
It's just island
hey, if you can, no, I was saying if you can get out. I'm just saying because your opportunity, over here, especially over here with you going to college here, you're going to create so many opportunities that you're always going to be able to help. The chances of you helping and the resources that you will have by migrating out and doing something with your life here, I don't think you're going to be able to accomplish that in Punjab. Just look at ourselves. I think we ourselves are a great example. We all have come from there. If we were still there, I don't think aave nahi hona si kam. We have good jobs. You went to NYU. Everybody over here does their thing. But you would have never gone to NYU from Amritsar. I'm just saying that. Jalandhar. And I just feel like, look, if you can get out, I know it's not possible for everyone. Don't hesitate just because you have to stay there. Look, if you have a good family, you have good thing going for you over there, stay there. But otherwise, get out.
All right, that's fair. Well, that's all we have for you today. Exactly. Okay. Uncle G, good point right there.
Pani kaise save kar?
Like solutions like that.
Diversifying the crop cycle.
And ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਸਲ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਹਾਲਾ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ, you can maybe offer them, look, ਕਿ ਐ ਕਰੋ, ਸਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਝੋਨਾ ਤੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਬਸਿਡੀ ਉਨੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ. And I think that can turn into a form of a privatization subsidy.
I think Punjab subsidy was like $42 a year in terms of US money.
And NRIs have a huge influence.
That subsidy is not a lot, right?
Not a lot.
And NRIs have a huge influence, man. ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਆ. ਹਰੇਕ ਘਰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕहीं ਦੀ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ, ਕਹੀਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ, ਪਰ ਹੈਗੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਕੋਲ, ਉਹਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਉਠਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ NRI ਵਾਲੇ I think ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ, ਉਹ ਵੈਸੇ ਓਵਰਆਲ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਾਗਰੂਕ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਕਿ like what do they want to do. ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ ਆਪਣਾ that's a slush fund for us, ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਖਰਚਦੇ ਆ ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ.
That's true.
So maybe you can cut down on that.
ਤੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਖਰਚਦੇ ਹੋਣੇ.
Cut down on the ਭਟੂਰੇ ਛੋਲੇ that you eat, and the paggan that we buy. But I mean, look, it's a long process, but this is just a start. We're here to provide solutions that and
kind of just start the discussion.
Start the talk, start the discussion. We'll talk about it. We'll try to bring a subject matter expert who can tell us more about these issues. But the objective is to learn.
The shit. We thought like, hey, why not give a little background on the issues that have come? What led to this? This was not all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
And these are the questions that I feel like a lot of Punjabis think about.
Samafti kariye. So next time around, we're going to talk about Punjabi singers and their impact on the farmers. We literally talked about this. We're not supposed to disclose.
Budget nahi hega.
He meant Karam Aujla with an M, not with an M.
ਮੇਰਾ ਕਜ਼ਨ ਆ, ਉਹਦੀ ਵੀ ਟੇਪ ਆਈ ਸੀਗੀ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣੀ. ਉਹ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਰਮ ਔਜਲਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਨ ਔਜਲਾ, ਉਹ ਸਿੰਗਰ ਆ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ.
We're working on that too. So we're going to have hopefully a guest speaker next time to discuss the Punjabi music industry and its impact on the farming laws. So
farming laws and general impacts.
Or in
has
general.
Evolved and changed
in
and
general,
stuff.
Right?
If you guys have topics, why don't you just share those topics?
On a more recent, issue that's coming up, 26th is coming up. Let's tell everybody from our band to all your family, everybody that's out there,
to go out,
get into
support.
Delhi, get out on the 26th, because that's what we can do right now, right? Let's get our people there, and let's see what comes of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Rallies, I think that whole rallies in your own city, right?
I think that has been very...
Keep pressure.
Keep putting pressure. So, yeah, check that out.
ਉਹ ਸਾਈਨ ਵੀ ਨਾਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੋਲੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ to, especially in the US here.
Right,
to write to your senators, to do those. ਸਾਰੀਆਂ, I think, ਛੋਟੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, they add up, man. So, ਆਪਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ
I don't know if you heard, Biden's, he let go of 2 people that had RSS ties.
And BJP links, yeah.
I doubt that's related, but anyways.
There was a statement
there were actually statements.
Oh, really?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Was it an actual statement?
Actual statement.
Yeah.
So because of RSS ties.
There was no other reasons for letting them go?
We don't know. We don't know that. I didn't fully research.
But hey, we're making progress, right?
ਵਧੀਆ ਚੱਲਦਾ.
This is a start.
Biden ਵੀ ਜਿੱਤਿਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ.
This is definitely a start. Yeah, definitely a start.
ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੰਬਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਆਊਟਰੋ ਉਦਾਂ ਵੈਸੇ.
Yeah, so as I was getting to my point that hey, we need to discuss more of this. So give us your ideas. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I sound like a Punjabi singer after a song telling you to subscribe to our channel. But yeah, man, share this. Tell us what you want to talk about, and we'll be happy to cover it. So until then,
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Peace out. A-Town down.